You're the host. Yeah, thank you, Leela. So, folks, usually we start with an introduction and all that, but given that we are doing a double header and we have a good 13 of us on the call already, I'll just quickly introduce myself and then maybe one or two, Leela, you can introduce yourself, and maybe Srijani and Vajiprasad, sorry, Sriya and Vajiprasad. Please introduce yourselves and then we'll continue with the discussions. My name is Dwiji. I'm a parent of a 13-year-old. We live in Bangalore, though right now I'm connecting from Coimbatore. I have been an open learner for a long, long time, about 30, 40 years now. But I've been part of the Aarohi community for only about 5 years now, 4 to 5 years. It's been fun and got a lot of language and the words to explain and articulate my journey. And it's been lovely. And I've been part of the team that has been organizing the Saturday meetups so that we have more and more people joining the open learning, self directed learning kind of experience. So, yeah, that's a little bit about myself. Leela, over to you.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Leela, and my son is 18 years old. And I entered open learning with my son, and I have been enjoying the journey of the open learning, me and my family. And I'm part of the facilitation team at Aarohi. Um, yeah, it's an interesting journey, open learning, and it's worth experiencing it. And that is what one thing I would like to share as part of introduction. Yeah.
Sriya and Vajiprasad, can you please introduce yourselves?
My name is Vajra Prasad. I am the father of Sriya and Srijani. Sriya is 18 years and Srijani is 15 years old, daughters both. I have open learning opened to me in the last 14 and 15 years back. From my Srijani has started learning it herself in the open learning. Ratnesh has training he has given to the Nellore in Andhra Pradesh, Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh, where my kids are studied in 1.5 years. That's how I was introduced there to my kids as a open learning. The same we are continuing, but middle way, in the meantime, we are coming and going to the Aarohi. And the last 2-3 years, we are continuing in Aarohi. And the journey is going on in Aarohi. And now this year, my younger one has NIOS. She is taking the NIOS. She is not going to the regular school. And she is preparing herself. And she is a completely open learner in 10th NIOS. And elder one, Sriya, she is a member of the CoVersity. And she started in last year. She is experiencing from the childhood. She has experienced there, and in the open learning, she experienced in the at the age of 13 at the age of she is in 8th standard. She is experienced Aarohi offline only, and after that she come back to the we are far away from the Bangalore. That's why we are not able to continue there. After that, last 3 years she is in the open learning mode, and last year completely open learning. She has completed 12th, and after that she is in the member of the CoVersity. She will share in the at the 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you, Vajiprasad. So, folks, I'm guessing most of you, if not all of you, would have played that old game called Name Place Animal Thing. So we won't really do name place animal thing, but we would like you to share your name, your place, and instead of animal, let's talk about the beast among our families, our children. So just share the name of your children and their age also, if you don't mind, and also something that drives you to attend this session, or what you are looking for from this session, as a chat message, so that folks can get to know each other without taking the time on the meeting itself. So usually we have a couple of slides, a few minutes we spend sharing about different slides. About different slides about different aspects of Aarohi and open learning. We're going to skip that today. We are going to do all discussion, session today, primarily because almost all of us are on the road, and I don't think my presentation on my mobile will be good enough for for Zoom. My link is good enough to sustain that, or my so just briefly, open learning, when we say, it's not something exclusive. It is kind of synonymous with homeschooling, open learning, unschooling, road schooling, and a whole bunch of various alternative forms of schooling, which people practice in varying degrees, in varying forms. And the idea of open learning, the way we practice it in the Aarohi community of open learners, is called self-directed learning, where the learner directs their own journey, they lead their own life. And the idea of the community is to realize that each of us is a learner ourselves, even if we are 30, 40, 20, whatever age we are, or even 90 for that matter. I don't think we stop learning just because we are older. So the idea of the community is to support each other, and not just each other's, as mentors or as guides, but rather as co-travelers. The idea is not to to coach somebody, but rather, if they want a guide or a mentor, they will ask for it. But we as co-travelers are influencing each other, are sharing with each other, and co-creating this journey. So the idea of the Aarohi community of open learners is about traveling together and exploring the world and our own respective learning journeys, and giving each other company, and co-creating. So when we say learning journey, it doesn't mean that we are all doing the same things. Each of us has our own interests. We do our own things, but we share what we want to do. We plan, we do, we discuss, and then we reflect. So the whole plan, do, reflect, thumb rule is like, it's something that we do intuitively. It's something that we do quite commonly, and we share, of course. When we say reflect and plan and do, it's not a solitary action. Even though we lead our own lives and our own learning journeys, it doesn't mean that we necessarily do it alone by ourselves. Many a time we do it in collaborations. We build connections across the community. We build connections outside the community also, because learning is not just an exclusive activity within a small group. So the idea of open learning is that we do what we want to do, what interests us, and what piques our curiosity. And when we say we, it's not just the children, but also the adults. And that's the whole idea of open learning, that we follow that age-old, the one of the most basic forms of learning that most biological, creatures follow, which is, seeing others do things. You just do those things and try to do it better, try to do it in new ways. So that's how we learned how to talk, how to walk, how to, eat, do everything that we do. So why is it any different, or how can we leverage this one of the oldest forms of learning that each of us has, or the one form of learning in which we are most experienced, which is seeing others do things and trying to do that ourselves? So why not use that form to influence those around us, rather than telling them, hey, you need to study these subjects, or you need to do exactly what I say? So that's the idea of self-directed learning and the Aarohi community of open learners. So, and needless to say, we have been doing it for many years now. And the idea of these sessions, the meetups, the Saturday meetups came up when during COVID, we couldn't meet in person. So we decided that, okay, let's embrace the online. Every challenge is an opportunity. So we decided to take up COVID as an opportunity to go online and get familiar and get comfortable talking to each other, connecting online. And that's how the meetups, and this is like the 144th. We are almost approaching 3 years of 3 years of sessions, and we have at least 120, 130 recordings on the website. Sometimes it's live streamed and available on Facebook as well, but like this time we have only recorded it and we'll be uploading it on our YouTube list, but you can find all of them on the website. So enough banter from me. Let's open up the floor. It's an informal meetup, so please feel free to unmute yourself. And if you have any questions about open learning, about Aarohi, though let's focus on open learning for the first hour, and then we'll have Sriya and Prasad share their journey of CoVersity, and we'll have some discussion around that, and then we can come to questions specific to Aarohi. So just to kind of give you an idea of the pace, we're going to go on with open learning till about 6 o'clock, and then 6 to 6:25 or so. We'll 6:30 till whatever time Prasad and Sriya are available. We'll discuss with them about their journey, and then by 7 o'clock we'll wrap up. So usually we wrap up by 6:30 today, and last week, like from now on, we are doing a double header. So we're going to wrap up around 7. So yeah, the floor is open. Please feel free to unmute yourself. I do request that you turn on your video if it's possible, so that we can have a video connect as well. And it's much nicer to have a face when we are watching the recordings, because quite a few people in the community do come back and watch the recordings and catch up on things. So yeah, please, the floor is open. Please unmute yourself and ask your question, share your experiences about open learning, or anything else that you would like to share with us. Thank you.
Okay.
So we have quite a few people having introduced themselves on the chat. So for those of you who have joined a little later, we have asked if you can check the chat window. You will see that folks are introducing themselves by their name, place, the name and age of their children, and one thing that motivates you, that has brought you to this session, what you would like to get out of this session. So feel free to check out what others have introduced themselves with, and also we request that you to type out your introduction. If you would prefer to talk in Kannada, Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, I think between us we have these languages here. Yeah, so feel free to unmute and get started, get a conversation started.
Okay, this is Purvi. I have 2 daughters, Jia and Mahi. And during COVID time, I did online with Aarohi for my children. So they were doing school also, but then I wanted them to explore. So I could see the difference in my younger one. I mean, she was always being told in school that she doesn't talk much. And we knew that she always wanted a comfort factor, where it's like where you want to talk or where you're open, she will talk. Otherwise, where bounded by a lot of boundaries and too strict, she will not open her mouth. But in 6 months' time, I remember her going to Ratnesh, disturbing his class. She'll go everywhere and she'll just blabber and she'll talk and she'll talk. She just wanted to talk. It was a great experience. So I think that 6 months of time actually made her open, and she got a lot of confidence. So, but still, I couldn't gather. It's still there in the CBSE school. Still, I couldn't gather the courage because it's a mutual thing. The husband says no, then I couldn't say that. Okay, I would like to put my children in open learning. So that still the problem I am facing. But I've shifted to Bangalore from Pune. That's step one. So now the step two is like slowly, I would be coming for summer programs in Aarohi for 4 days.
Yeah.
So I'm just expecting, some changes will happen again, some explorations will happen.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward for that.
Lovely. Yeah, Purvi, I mean, a challenge is always an opportunity. So I'm sure you have learned a lot about yourself, about your husband, about your child, and about the world in general in trying to, go for an alternative way of learning and education rather than the same old.
What I see in school, I'm not happy with it. It's been since a very long time. I feel that this is not what, actually it's going to help them. It's just mugging and getting marks. It's not going to help them. But still, it has to be mutually, the consent should be from both the parents.
And that's why we talk about co-creation. When we say co-creation, it's not just about, as a parent, I will decide, with an order that everybody will do this. Nobody's going to listen to that, right? So,
whenever we get opportunity, at least we can go and experiment or explore.
Yeah, and also that, open learning is not just about, one of our friends, I think it was Avni, I think now she's about 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. A year or two ago in one of the sessions, she said this beautiful line. She said, everybody is an open learner on the weekends. Nobody tells them what to do. They have to figure out what they will do, when they will do, how they will do, what they will use. And then finally, at the end of the weekend, they have to decide whether they did what they wanted to do. Right? So it doesn't matter whether you're working, whether you're going to school or college or wherever, right? So you're an open learner. It's just about practicing it, being conscious about it, and putting in some ideas and building on it. Right? True. So yeah, it's always an opportunity. And see, Aarohi is not the only place where you can do open learning. Right? So open learning is also about doing it wherever you are. So one of the things that
environment what you get, because sometimes you're so lost in the peer pressure, you don't know what to do. But when you get a good environment, then at least you know that people of like what we think, they're like-minded people.
Yeah. So speaking from I'm connecting through my phone, so I don't have the participants list in front of me. If anyone from the community would like to jump in and share something, please feel free. I will not be able to call out people unless I'm not speaking. So please excuse if I'm not calling out and asking others to step in. Yes. I guess.
Hi. Welcome back, Purvi. We have connected quite a bit when you were in Pune. So yeah, so it's great that you're now in Bangalore. Means it's one of the cities like supports alternative. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. Please.
Okay.
Continue.
So it's again, Purvi, it's majorly not about what you want or your husband want or something. It is like what your children want, how they want it. Mahi, I remember her name, how they want it. So it's good opportunity for you to even visit Aarohi campus now and explore the other side of it and meet people out there. So good. It's a great news that you're shifted to Bangalore. Even we want to, but
hey, people, You don't need to come to Bangalore to be part of Aarohi, okay? Preeti, come on.
Yeah.
I'm going to your Mica more often nowadays. Preeti is from Lucknow. So, so I'm spending more time in Lucknow, and you're saying people come to Bangalore, huh? Yeah. But you're welcome, Preeti, Purvi, whoever wants to come to Bangalore. Bangalore is big enough. And I'm sure more people, more conscious people will be better than having, indiscriminate people coming in. So it's good to have more people coming into Bangalore, but you don't have to be in Bangalore to practice open learning. Just a, like a clarification. And we did not, pull Purvi to Bangalore, or trying to get Preeti to Bangalore. In fact, the campus itself is not in Bangalore. Campus is outside Bangalore, about 60, 70 kilometers from the city. It's actually in Tamil Nadu. So yeah, there are other places also that you can get to get close to the campus. Hosur, Krishnagiri, Dharmapuri, and a whole bunch of places. Salem. Salem is on the other side, though it might be a little far when compared to Bangalore. Yeah. Yeah. Any other folks want to share something? Ask some questions about open learning. We have quite a few people with different experiences here with us, so you can
Hi,
get different perspectives.
I'd like to go next.
Please.
I'm Amrita.
Hi, Amrita. There's a light behind you. Could you
Yes,
change?
I'll probably just have to pick
That's
this
better. That's better. That's better. Yeah. Thank you.
up.
Yeah.
Okay, hi. So I learned about Aarohi from Purvi. We
Oh,
go
okay.
back many, many years. We were
Yeah.
hostel mates back in college.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so that's the connect. And
Yeah.
my kids are 9 and 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
And so we moved here from California about 8 months back.
Oh, okay.
So my kids were going to private school there, very
Mm-hmm.
academic, and very specifically into English and math.
Okay.
While that was great, but I wanted them to have a little more exposure to other aspects of life apart from just academics. And
Mm-hmm.
so once we moved here, they currently go to an IB school.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a lot of activities apart from the studies. The studies are more like fun. I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in Noida, Delhi NCR.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to a CBSE school. So
Mm-hmm.
I see a great difference between what I was doing and from what they are doing currently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good change. What I have seen is the kids are really liking it here.
Okay.
They've adapted well to the environment and all of that. And I think open learning is something new to me. It's a new
Mm-hmm.
concept. So I'm trying to learn and understand more about it.
Okay.
And it's something I'd be open to, because I feel
Mm-hmm.
kids on their own, or rather anybody, like you mentioned, on their own,
Yeah.
they're able to sort of know where they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And as parents, I think part of our journey is to sort of aid them
Correct.
in doing that, right?
Yeah.
Navigating their own selves.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm open to that, and that's
Lovely.
why
Yeah.
my
So,
curiosity got me here.
so maybe Purvi and you can be roommates again this summer.
We are
When
hoping.
Purvi is planning to spend some
We,
time on
we both are
campus.
going to come with our children and get few
Yeah.
more parents.
Yeah. So the calendar is on the website. Please make sure that you fill out the form there and mark out the dates, because summertime slots do get filled up much sooner than the regular days.
We'll do
So
it today.
yeah.
Thank you
Great.
so much for the opportunity.
Nice, Amrita. So you are welcome to explore. Life is about exploration. It's not that open learning is better than IB or IB is better than CBSE. Each one has, like you rightly mentioned, they take to some things better. They don't like some things.
Right. Yeah.
That's
So
perfectly fine. Yeah.
looking forward to that exploration and trying to understand and
Mhm.
expose the kids to newer things.
Lovely, lovely. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. You're
I
in the
have a
right
question.
place.
Like we are planning from 3rd to 7th. There are 9 people of us, kids and adults.
Don't ask like that, Purvi. Come on. Just fill out the form and one of us will get back to
No,
you.
no,
No?
what I'm asking is that we don't know how to come because we're still new to Bangalore.
Oh my God. That when you are traveling, you figure out the travel logistics. There's a online group where you can discuss about it. Yeah. So once you have filled up the form and all that, then somebody will put you on that group and you can discuss so that you can share rides or travel together by train. Various options. It's luckily train services have been restored, so you could take the train till Kelmangalam and just walk it from there to campus. So we can talk about that in later part, or in the social media group, in the WhatsApp or other groups. Yeah.
So, sir, how far is from the station?
Campus? Well,
Yes.
see, the open learning campus is everywhere. Especially railway stations are good places to learn things. So if you ask me where can you start your open learning, you can start at your house itself. So that's why we say, when we say campus, our house, wherever we are, is the first campus. After that, Aarohi campus and all that comes in. So, but I mean, I'm just pulling your leg in some sense. Aarohi campus is about a kilometer from the railway station, a little over a kilometer, under a mile.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a nice countryside walk. You will walk through some fields, you will walk past a few shops and some open land, lots of rocks, and you'll reach campus. Yeah. But let's talk more about open learning. Not get too caught up about campus and Aarohi, because open learning, like I mentioned earlier, it's not just about Aarohi. It's about the idea of taking taking a feeler of what we want to do, what I want to do, and finding the resources to do that, and then reflecting, how did I do it? How did I do well? What do I want to do next? All those things, right? So open learning is not just about going to campus. So yeah, but let's continue the conversation. If you had any specific question about open learning, especially.
Hello, hi, this is
Yes, we can
Sriya.
hear you.
I'm actually new to this open
Mhm.
learning thing.
Okay.
I have a kid of 7-year-old.
Mhm.
So she is now going to the regular school, but
Mhm.
we just need, I just want to shift her to the open learning phase. I have to, because during the COVID time, I have seen that she has learned a lot of
Mhm.
things,
Mhm.
but now I think I don't see that learning. It's very, it's actually a small, she's going to the school, but she has learned
Okay.
to write. That's all I can see. But
Okay.
during the COVID time, she has learned a lot. She was doing a
Mhm.
she was taking a from in pure water. She has taken a pure water. She has made
Mhm.
some of the filters. No one has taught her. She thought that, and she has did that. So I
Lovely.
thought open learning would be a good choice for her to
Mhm.
learn.
Okay.
But I have few questions, like if she has to do her 10th exams, 12th exams, and if she has to go to the higher studies,
Mhm.
if she would like to pursue doctor or something, will
Mhm.
this open learning help her? Is it like a curriculum, or we are teaching it from we have to teach it from the home, or
Yeah.
like, yeah, I need to know about it.
Sure. I have been talking a lot. Would somebody like to answer this question? Who do we have from the community who's been practicing open learning? If you are, please.
Yeah.
Hi, Preeti. Yeah, please go ahead.
I can answer. So, Priya, if you're specifically talking about 10th and 12th exams, then there is this NIOS, which any child can give that exam. It is as equally recognized as any other board like CBSE or ICSE or any other board. So it is recognized by the Government of India. So anything, any child who has given NIS exam can further go ahead and 1 second. Can go ahead and do next level of degree and some whatever. And apart from that, study wise, sorry, Preeti, I'm not able to focus. Can you take it over?
Yeah, sure. So, thank you, Preeti. Preeti, I understand you're on the road, so that's okay. Priya, a couple of things. When we say open learning, it's not just a schooling. It's not schooling at all, actually. Let's be very clear about that. Open learning is not a form of schooling. It's not another board with a curriculum, exams, all those things. Open learning is a way of living. Okay. So the idea of open learning is that we learn what we want to learn. Okay. As an individual, as a family, as a community, as a country, right? So the idea is that when we are saying that we are open learners, we identify what we want to learn. Like you shared about your daughter wanting to do something with filters, and she made some different filters and all that. So that's great. She wanted to explore that. She went ahead and did some things, learned a few things, and was quite happy doing that from what you have shared. So the idea of open learning is not about preparing for a particular board exam, though, like you mentioned, it's not that just because you're doing open learning, you can't take up exams or you can't study specific subjects, right? So the idea of open learning is very much compatible with taking board exams, though we do challenge that notion that we have to have these certificates, we have to have these write these exams, but if you want to do it, there's no harm in it's not like we would say, oh, you can't be part of the community because you're writing your 10th standard exams. Like Vajraprasad shared in the introduction itself, his daughter Sriya is full-time into open learning now, but she did write her 12th standard exams, and her sister Srijani is preparing for her NIOS exams while being part of the Aarohi community. So yeah, that's the brief, or maybe not so brief answer. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jaya, you wanted to ask something? I saw your hand was raised.
Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Sir, my name is Jaya. I am from Attibelli, Bangalore. And I have a son. He's a special child, and my journey is little different. He is 12 years old, and he is a child with autism.
Okay.
So, what I want to ask is, I have tried lots of closed atmosphere for my son for the past long years. And what I want to know is, now I understood that he likes an open environment.
Okay.
But open environment is not at all available for a special child. So I talked to my psychologist, and she suggested Aarohi. And she told you can just visit there, and it is an open environment, and she doesn't know much about you, means much about the atmosphere or the setup or anything.
Yeah.
But she told that you have to go there and visit and talk to them and see. And if I see that I can connect, means if whether it will be okay for my son, I can tell you that after the discussion. So if I come there, whether you can help me, or whether you can provide your environment for me,
so
to just to try an open environment for a special kid. So it's a trial
of course.
only.
See, we don't ask for any commitment from people when they enter. In fact, folks who have been to campus might remember that enter without expectations is written all over the compound wall by the gate, because we don't want people to enter with expectations, nor do we expect anything from people entering the campus beyond certain safety related aspects. So the idea of the campus is very much like Puri was sharing earlier, very much an exploratory space, a space where a lot of people interested in learning, interested in interacting with and attracted to open learning and ways of open learning come to campus to spend some time together and understand both their own self and their journeys, and also to understand how others are doing it and get inspired by it, start collaborations and all that, right?
Yeah,
now,
I
if
have
I
heard
remember right,
there.
yeah, please go ahead, Jaya.
Okay. I was just hearing about their experiences, other parents' experiences, and they are sharing about their kids and all. And in my case, means I just want to provide such a space to my son, and from
so
his
just
response only we will understand
I'm
whether
coming to
he
that,
likes.
Jaya. I think we also had a small discussion about this on the Aarohi WhatsApp group, right?
Okay.
If I remember right, are you part of the Aarohi Open Learning?
Yeah. Recently,
so
I became the part of that group. I just asked whether any special educator is
so
available.
I had responded on the group as well. So we do not have any special educators in the Aarohi campus unless they happen to be there by by chance, right? But the point is that at not just on campus but within the community, we do not expect a 12-year-old to behave in a certain way or a 40-year-old to behave in a certain way. Okay. The whole idea of special needs come into picture primarily because the world has set this framework, right? If you are 6 years old, you should be able to do this, and this. If you are 14 years old, you should be able to do this, and this. If you're 20 years old, you should be able to do this, and this. Whoever doesn't fit into that framework will be identified as a special needs person, right? Now, that is an expectation. Not everyone is the same. I mean, we have our hand always with us. I mean, all 5 fingers are not the same. Each one has a particular role. Each one does a job amazingly well. Now, what each finger is used for, I mean, somebody might say this little finger is useless, right? I mean, why do we have the little finger? Or somebody might say, it's actually the smallest one, it's a special needs finger, right? So in Aarohi, we do not consider anybody as special needs. The idea of Aarohi as a community is that we are here to share our learning journeys and encourage each other, give each other company, be co-travelers in their own journeys. Now, your son, given his constraints, additional constraints more than what we others in this world have, might have a very different learning journey. But that doesn't mean that everybody else will stop what they are doing to accommodate your son's journey, right? Each one will be doing their own thing, and at the same time they will be participating in each other's journey, right? So the idea of Aarohi has to be experienced, like Purvi and Preeti and others mentioned earlier. And it's very much, I second your psychologist or your medical advisor's words that you should go visit campus and spend some time there. It's not just about going there for a day and coming back. You're welcome to do that as well, do a one-day trip. But we would encourage you to go and stay there for a week so that you can experience life on campus and what do you mean by living on campus, and how you could look at an open learning environment for yourself and for your child. Because I mean, every mother is expected to behave in a certain way when it comes to their children, right?
Yeah.
And the constraints that it puts on us and our own creativity, our own life choices, there are many. So, so I myself don't live on campus, but Ratnesh, Aditi, and Leela on and off, and a whole bunch of folks stay on campus, and you're welcome to visit campus. Like I was mentioning earlier, there's a form online on the website. So please fill out that form. And
Sir, I have already filled it, and I
good.
on 16th Thursday, coming
Okay.
Thursday,
Lovely.
if possible,
Okay.
we can.
So you have already signed up for that. That's great. I'm guessing you have already received a confirmation email. If you have not yet received,
But
just send.
Okay. I think that I didn't get it. I will
You
check
did
it.
not.
I didn't get it.
Okay. So please send a message. You would have got a form confirmation email, right? Submission confirmation.
Okay. I will check it.
So just respond to that email, or write to that email address, or on the or call one of the numbers, and we will be able to get back to you within a few days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then one more question is there, sir. Can you just explain about one day of Aarohi? Means right now I don't have any idea. I got an idea about homeschooling everything, because earlier also I have gone through pickle of different magazines and all about homeschooling, newspapers and all different style of learning. But what is happening in Aarohi in a day? Means
I think I see Rachna on the call. Rachna, can you talk?
Means we should stay there, or people are coming there and spending time and going back. Is it like that?
So there are multiple ways in which
small
people
idea.
participate in the community, both on campus and off campus. Rachna is part of the, if it's the same Rachna, she's also part of the Aarohi community, and I think for the past few months, she has been visiting campus on and off. And Rachna, are you there? Or maybe she isn't. Okay. Oh yeah, she is. You're unmuted, but we can't hear you, Rachna. No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Yeah.
Hi, Rachna.
Hi, Dviji.
So can you share what's a typical day in Aarohi campus like?
Sure. So a typical day, we start off with our fitness. So all of us wake up and we freshen up and we start with the fitness. Then we all have a 7 to 8 where we are free to join the kitchen to prepare breakfast, or we can again plan sports or cleaning or freshing up, like take bath or catch up with the other people at the campus and do any other work or any other activity. After that, we have a breakfast, then we join our morning circle. So morning circle usually is pumped up with some activities and music, and we plan the day. We share what we would like to join with others or collaborate with others and do any other activities or projects. That's where the day starts, and the day goes by till lunch. We get involved in various activities, as we believe doing is learning. That's it. Then lunch. After lunch, again, we have a couple of other activities that we would like to continue or collaborate with others who are part of the community that day. So since he's talking about a day visit, so a day visit is how this is how the flow of the day goes. So then we end the day with campus care and sports, community sports. I hope I answered.
Rachna, dinner कब खाओगे?
Dinner.
And thought club.
So since she was talking about the days, I thought she would want to. Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you, Preeti, for telling me that. 6 o'clock is our dinner time. That's after our community sports. So we also have a munch and go time, so that after our campus care, before we go to the sports, we quickly munch something and And for the
Rachna, it's okay. Don't get ragged by Preeti, okay? There's a whole bunch of things happening on the campus, Jaya. I
yes,
mean,
there are a lot of
you got
projects.
a fair idea from what Rachna and Preeti have shared. So
Rachna will give the menu card also, what all she eats in dinner.
Yeah. So you can actually find videos online sharing about how life on campus is. And yeah, so I would strongly recommend looking at that, Jaya, to get an idea of how the days on campus are. But one thing I should tell you that there are no typical days on campus. Each day is different, just the same way that, each moment is different. So there are certain activities that are common throughout all the days, but it's not that everybody does the same thing all the time. So yeah, just check out the online, write-ups and videos and blog posts, and you'll get a fair idea about days on campus. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions, thoughts, experiences that you would like to share? We have a few more minutes before we can call Sriya to share about her journey.
Hi, I have another question. We look at our child to give him time to explore something or anything new. Is there a time limit in terms to make the child stick to that thing till he actually really wants to go into it or no? Because I find my child picking up something and immediately saying, no, I don't think so, I want to do this. But unless he puts in some time to get to I at least to know whether he is liking it or not liking it. Is there a time limit that we need to give a month for doing an activity and then say, okay, I'm not liked it, or such a...
Okay. I'm trying to think of what would be the best analogy. So does anybody else want to share their thoughts on this question? Because it's a very good open learning question. First, I should acknowledge that. That's a lovely question. And it's a question that a lot of us have to ask ourselves too, not just our children. But yeah, I mean, if anybody else would like to share their thoughts. Santosh, are you there today? I think this is a different Santosh.
Can I just share what I think on that question?
Yeah, please, Sujay, please.
Yeah. So I think I will ask this question the same other way around to her only, Anjali, I think, and or rather, let's say if I am learning something, like there is a sport that I am learning, and I really want to learn it, but for some reason I am not able to do it properly, whatever that could be. Consider tennis, right? I will take one example. Let's say I want to learn tennis. Yeah, I want to learn tennis, and when I'm learning tennis, for some reason, my ball, the ball kind of shoots up in the air, that doesn't go flat. And somebody is there who is telling me that I have to do it in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
It should be in that way, in a time bound. Are we not sucking the fun and the whole experience out of it by doing that way? That's my alternate, that's kind of counter question to you. So
you got me. Sorry. It's like
sure.
we need to give more time. It's not he's learning or he's liking it. You can take 10 days, you can take 2 months, you can take 6 months, as long as you are doing that thing. But if you say within 2 days or 5 days, see, I'm not getting it, so I might as well quit this and look at exploring something else. So is there a time for this in terms, at least give it a month or give it 2 months and see if you're able to do it.
Okay.
So,
how?
Sujay, please allow me. Anjali, there's a recent YouTube short that I saw. It's about an advertisement executive who comes up with a beautiful, punchline for an advertisement, and then tells the customer, that will be some exorbitant amount, right? And that guy says, hey, you just spent like 20 minutes on it. and you're charging me so much. And this guy says, well, do you like the quality of it? He's like, yeah, it's amazing. I'm totally in love with it. This is exactly what I wanted. But how do you justify charging so much for it? Right? So
Right.
then this guy says, so if I spent 2 months of your time, talk to 20,000 people in the world, and gave you a bill for all of that, you would be fine paying me. But because I made this decision so quickly and I came up with something that maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it, but I came up with something, you feel that it's not worth that much money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So look at the other side of the coin. Your son has decided within 2 days and not wasted 25 days of his life.
No, but then we condition so much, in terms to give everything a time and see if it kind of gets into you, and then you kind of. But if you look at it,
So
there are some
here's
things if you give it more
here's
time.
how I would put it, Anjali.
Okay.
When we say, can you give it more time, right? More is from my perspective, right? I feel you're not giving sufficient time. Just like that customer felt the ad executive did not give sufficient time.
Right.
But what do we want from our children? If we want 2 months of mindless, engagement, meetings, consultations, focus groups, then I will be disappointed. But if I want my customer to be happy, if I want my vendor to be happy, if I want my child to be happy, if I want my child to learn something, and what is it that my child will learn best? Something that he or she is interested in.
Yeah, Duji, but I think somewhere okay, now I will kind of take Anjali's side and just ask one question, which I think she's, is she not talking about learning outcome? I guess that's where she is going. Like, how about learning outcomes and how about defining them? And maybe she's trying to ask like, who will define them? How we will define them, right?
Exactly. Spot on. So who will define an outcome of an exercise that I'm engaged in? Who is best placed to define that? Is it a board of education or an expert panel sitting somewhere? Or even is it my parents who feel that I should know this, and this by this age or this time in my life? Or is it
so this is
myself?
where exactly, now this is where exactly most of the people against the open learning kind of scenario comes into picture, because I'm part of the most of the people. We all want somebody else, like a board, who may not know what is the requirement of an India, and they are defining somewhere in outside India, and they are defining that this is what learning should be, and we like to follow that. I mean, I'm part of that. So that's
we are asking that, okay, you want to follow that, that's perfectly fine, but when you're not following that, it's not that you're following that 24 hours of your day, right? It's not that you're following it all the time. When you're doing everything that you're doing according to what a particular set of people tell you to do. So when you're exercising what you want to do it a little more consciously. Plan for it, do it, gather the resources, do it, reflect on it, share your experiences, right? So the idea of open learning is not a definite outcome. Very much like this question that Sujay asked, when we have a definite outcome, which is independent of the learner, not dependent on the learner, but independent and set by an external body, and sometimes learners themselves kind of take it upon themselves. Oh, I have to crack this exam. Okay, you like studying maths, you enjoy doing maths, great, do it. But do you really need to go to maths Olympiad and prove to the world that you love maths? Oh, there are lots of ways in which you can show to the world how you love maths, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that let's step out of this framework of expectations and look at the framework of possibilities. Yeah. So there are butterflies and there are bees. Thank you, Preeti. Time check. Yes. We have 2 minutes to wrap up. So quickly, very good discussion. I think we will take this. I wish there were more voices than my own in this. But we will hopefully discuss more about this at a future time.
Thanks,
so like
Andy.
I was, please. Go ahead, Anjali. You were saying something.
And I said thanks. At least it kind of gives me a different perspective to look at this.
Lovely. You're welcome. And do check out the online resources because we do have discussions on this, especially about expectations and possibilities. Yeah.
I'll do that. Yeah. Thank you.
We are almost at the hour where we'll have Shriya and Vajraprasad join us and share their learning journey, especially from the perspective of CoVersity, which, as we introduced earlier, is where young adults, anywhere from 14 to 19 or 20, I believe, are coming together to form a kind of a cohort, a group in which they study together, not necessarily the conventional group studies kind of thing, but rather an exploration, a co-exploration about specific things that they are interested in. So, Sriya, Vajraprasad, if you are around, please unmute and turn on your camera. And Sriya, we would love to hear from you about your journey and about CoVersity as well.
Hello everyone, so I am Sriya and I am part of CoVersity from over a few months, I can say, maybe from last June. Yeah, from last June I am part of the CoVersity and it's been evolving since then. Initially, I am part of the design cohort. From my teens, let's say from 14 years old, I was interested in design. Though I was part of the normal schooling, I did even in my holidays or something. I used to design some clothes for my dolls or something or the other. I used to work on designing, and then later on, I wanted to pursue designing as my profession. I was really interested in it. So initially, I thought to go to a college, write entrance exams for the design college, and then go into it. But then I got introduced to the CoVersity, and then I chose this over college, and now I am part of it, and I don't have any plan to go to a normal college of designing. And yeah, I've been part of the CoVersity, and there is also another person who is. We are actually 4 of us are there present, and with me, Krishiv is also another member in design CoVersity. We do different things together. There are a few segments where me and Krishiv do together, like we do some projects. We did few client projects, and we also did few personal projects which we chose by ourselves, which interests us. For example, we did some t-shirt graphic designing and we did some service designing. So yeah, based on our interest. And we both are not someone who has interest on the same thing. I'm very much interested in the UI, UX, user interface and experience design, and he is more into animation and graphics. So it was initially a huge task for us to come together. But then after a while, we realized how we exchanged our perspectives. We are almost poles apart. So that gave us entirely different perspective to find a common ground between us and to cooperate with each other and work together. Yeah, and also it's not like we only do stuff together. I do my stuff like almost, let's say in the day we divided into 2 parts. Where in the first part we do stuff, we do projects together, we do meetings and we do various stuff which are together. And in the second half, I do things which are of my interest. I do some personal project. I learn through courses. I watch YouTube videos. I read articles. I meet professionals. I've also met UI UX designer who works in the Google. So I've had discussions with the mentors, guides. So like that, we do various things in our day. So yeah, that's the basic intro I can give. If you have any questions or any thoughts, anything, we can just discuss and go through it.
Thank you, Shriya. So just to break the ice and start the conversation, I would like to ask you a couple of questions. I'll just start with one. You did mention that you considered going to a design school and then you decided against it. Can you share some thoughts on why you decided that way?
Yeah, because I have some experience on how normal schooling or college does, because I went to it till my 12th class, till last year. And based on my experience, I was never the one who listened to classes when I went to school or college. I used to always daydream, and then later I just studied through the textbook or watching YouTube videos or some way or the other. I was never the one who listens to the teacher. Or I really didn't follow the way someone teaches to me. I rather preferred my own pace of learning. It's just I just have the mind of when my exams are, and based on that I used to prepare. So I was never a fan of college and school. So that was one. And then when I got introduced to the CoVersity, I realized that I can design my own learning, how I want. The main part was how I can learn. It's not like I learn through someone who teaches me. I can learn by just experimenting. I currently I mostly learn by experimenting. I do various designs. I just have basic idea of how to do, let's say, a logo design. I'm doing the logo design currently. So I just check through the online of how basic things work, and then I experiment on it. I do many sketches, I do different things, and again I go back and search if I need something. So yeah, the main thing I can say is the way I learn, how I can learn. That's what attracted me towards the CoVersity. I get to decide how I want to learn something.
Great, thank you, Shriya. Any other folks would like to ask Shriya any questions? Or Vajra Prasad, would you want to add something to what Shriya has already shared? How have you seen the journey since June, or anything else that you would like to share about?
Actually, how she is moving through learning, that is my worry, or something you can say as a parent. But in the middle of the August or September, after 3 or 4 months, it is not the role of the parent, it is the guide. You have to be shift the mindset to the parent to the guide. Guide role has to be I have to learn the guide role, not the parent role. From that day onwards, when I was realized I am the guide role I have to learn, then I learned the how to guide them, not the worries and expectations. Just what she is learning, I am observing, and how, as a guide, how to see the how she is learning and what she is interested, and how she is, what is their learning styles, what is the emotional balance, and how she is managing their emotional balance, how she is learning, how she is researching, and how she is selecting the courses, and what are the resources she needs.
Okay.
Those are all things I am learning. Actually, what needs her to learn.
Lovely.
And what is their interests. That is the thing I am learning. That is my one shifting from parent to guide. There is a very gigantic task.
Nice. Yeah.
That is the thing I want.
Lovely. Thank you, Vajra Prasad. The floor is open, folks. If you would like to ask Sriya any particular question, any thoughts that you might have about CoVersity, any questions, any doubts, please feel free to ask.
Sriya, I have one question.
Please.
Yeah.
Like you said, you don't want to, you want to explore your way, or you want to try things your way.
Yeah.
And but don't you think, like, maybe if you would have gone to college or design, you can also see what other people are doing. That's also knowledge, right?
Yeah, I completely
It's
agree
not like
that.
a competition, but it's also knowledge that where the world is going. How are you going to cope up with that?
Yeah, I do agree that it's an advantage, and I don't think that I'm missing it as I'm part of CoVersity
But
now.
like staying
Everything.
alone, we live in a society. So, in a community where, you need to also see what's going on in the world. So how, if without interaction and just being yourself, how are you going to know what's happening in the world?
No,
Or what are the latest things going on? What are the designs which are more favorable by people? All these things, you need to be with public, or you need to be with people, right? You can't close your doors.
Yeah, I am actually not alone. I can say I am. There are other cohort members who are doing learning along with me, and as you said, true. I am going out in the public, and I can give you an example. I took up a project of supermarket design, which is a service of in a supermarket in the town. And that was a project which I was interested in, and I took it. I went to the supermarkets which are in my town. I interacted with the retail shopkeepers. I interacted with the customers who are there. I listed down few questions, few insights that I want to know based on what they think about these designs, or how they usually just go in the supermarket. So I went to the public, and that was the first time I ever went into public. I never went into public and asked something since I was even in 12th till 12th. I never went out and interacted with the public, and I have interacted with the mentors. Like I know few designers who are professional UI UX designers who guides me now. If I do some designs, I send them. Sometimes they give me feedback, and I've interacted with. I've also recorded a section where I've interacted with the designer who works in Google. She shared with me what are the things that I need to keep in mind, and I also have an account in LinkedIn. I follow few designers in the Instagram. I watch videos of designers in YouTube, and I'm also thinking to join few meetups in different cities. There are different meetups, designer meetups going on. I'm also planning to join those too. So yeah,
that's a good thing. Okay.
Thank you.
So one thing I feel we often lose sight of when we think of colleges and universities is that we feel that these are spaces where you can get a lot of exposure, right? That you get to see the world. Now, as Shriya shared and I'm so happy the way she shared it. You can see the energy from the energy with which she shared itself. You can see how was her experience of stepping out into the quote unquote real world, right? Not just one of universities and colleges created within a university and a college, but rather the real world. And also about how, when we say open learning or CoVersity, we are not walling ourselves in within our houses, right? So it is about choosing which community you want to belong in, choosing what engagements or what interactions you want to engage in, right? and and correcting course corrections, of course. I mean, course corrections are part of it. So lovely question and answer. I think we are going to clip that for for one of those Aarohi shorts kind of thing. Thank you Purvi and Sriya. Any other questions, thoughts, experiences that you would like to share Or maybe you would like to give a design challenge for Shriya. You're welcome to pose it here. Yeah. So I'm curious, how did you land at UI UX, Shriya?
Yeah. So this is a very different story.
Okay, please.
Actually,
We are here to hear your stories. So please.
yeah. When I was in 7th class, I had an interest in fashion design. I used to sketch few, and this is a real story. Like once my friend asked me to design some dress which she has never seen, and I've designed a bottom jeans pant from my mind, and recently 2-3 years ago I saw the exact same design online, and like I was like so blown away, like that was just experience. Yeah. So coming to the point, I was interested initially as a fashion designer. I wanted to be a fashion designer for a very long time. And then in my 11th, after I joined Aarohi CoVersity, I started exploring different things. I didn't stick myself to fashion designing because I thought, okay, let's try do different things. What's there in that? After I put my hands in, I did fashion designing, few projects, and I did logo designing, graphic designing, interior designing. And as I was doing it, I somehow realized that fashion designing isn't for me because I felt it's way more challenging. And I felt that I don't have that courage to follow that particular industry. And then as I was doing projects, I got introduced to, I literally checked on the Google internet what are the different branches in designing, what are the broad branches, what are the narrowed branches. And then one name, it's just a name. UI and UX for me then was just a name. And then as I started looking more into it, I thought, okay, this is something interesting. Maybe I want to do. So that's how I got my interest in it. I'm not still sure that I'll take this up as my final thing, but currently I'm doing it. I'm loving what I'm doing.
So is it something
From
where
fashion designer to UI UX.
so my question is that so you want to become independent. So is this something where you are when you do such kind of learnings, open learning, then you want to be an entrepreneur, but we cannot work with somebody? Does it conclude like that?
Sorry, I didn't exactly
So
get
basically, like if people they do what they like, right? This is what the concept is: unschooling or open learning. So eventually, because you whatever you like, you will do. If you don't like this, you will quit. You will do something else. So all these traits are of being an entrepreneur, right? But if somebody tells you that you work under me, maybe you will not be able to work under somebody.
Okay.
Purvi, that's Purvi, right? Shriya, just 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
That was Purvi, right? Yeah, Purvi, I can assure you as a serial entrepreneur, I can tell you that entrepreneurs cannot really do whatever they want. Once you start an enterprise, you have to do what needs to be done to keep that going, to pay those salaries, to serve those customers, to pay those vendors, all those things.
Yeah, but you take the responsibility of that. But if, say if you're in IT and you have to work under somebody, don't you think that's a big challenge? Because you've been so used to doing
I'll
your
let
way.
Shriya answer that and share her thoughts on that.
Yeah. It's what I focus mostly is on how I learn things, not on what part. For the what part, what I have to learn, I go with what's required, what's needed. I've made a list of few things, basic things which are required for a designer, which are most important for a designer to know to do any designing. I've listed them down and I learned those things. But the thing which is in my hand is how I learn. These are the basic things that's required. So I learn things which are required on my way, in my way. So I currently don't have a vision of being an entrepreneur. I currently think that I am going to be working in some huge company, a big company, in a very big position. I don't know. That's what I dream of. And my current thing is to attain the skills which are required for a designer, and that depends on how I want to do, not what I want to do. It's also there, but how is the most important part for me than what.
Lovely. So in some sense, Shriya, then you are saying that you actually are not interested in becoming an entrepreneur, and that you are looking for a job.
Yeah, initially.
Yeah, lovely. Cool. Good. Any other thoughts, questions for Sriya or Vajraprasad? Because he has offered himself today, his time, and said he can answer some questions, participate in the conversation. So please.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh,
Please
thank
go
you,
ahead.
Duji. I mean, last time you called me out and I just couldn't unmute my phone. So I was wondering what happened. So I do have a question, and this is actually for Vajraprasad. Being a parent, I can see that you're, almost in the same age group as me, Vajraprasad. So don't you feel scared? I mean, she's going through, she's taking
No.
the
Initially, it is there. Complete.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
It is initially, it is there. But what is open learning and what is in the industry and what is actually required for the skills for her and to lead her life, then I decided, okay, take her own in charge of their own life. That is my motto to open learning, coming to the open learning and coming to the Aarohi also, actually.
Wow. Okay. See, I mean, first of all, Shriya, I mean, I appreciate your courage and the way you spoke. And to be honest with you, when Purvi asked the question, I thought I want to rephrase it and ask. She's actually asking, will you be the next Elon Musk? A person who doesn't listen to anybody. I will do what I want, and I become the richest person in the world. I don't see anything wrong in that, except that it requires a lot of courage and a lot of conviction. And your parents allowing you to do that. Elon Musk wouldn't have become Elon Musk unless his parents allowed him to, do what he wanted. That's how I grew up. Father was in the army. He said, do whatever you want. And that was a huge responsibility, because now I don't have anybody else to dump my responsibility on. It was tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks to both of you.
Santosh, the idea of the fear is actually very, very enticing. Sorry, Shriya, just excuse me for a minute. Because people somehow are afraid of being afraid, right? Of fear. And fear is actually a very natural instinct in not just humans, but all species, all beings. And we do best when we confront our fears rather than when we shrink away from them, at least most of the time. So in some sense, I think fear gets a very bad rap when it should actually be recognized for some of the most amazing creations in the world. So yeah, I mean, fear is not something that I'm afraid of, or that I would say you should stay away from. Put yourself in a position where you would be, afraid. You would fear for your life. You would fear for your livelihood. You would fear for somebody else, right? Because when we are in such positions, we do things which we would not in other positions. So yeah, I mean, I would just put a defensive note about a note in defense of fear. So fear is not something that we should be afraid of, I feel.
Actually, fear is more of uncertainty.
Correct.
That's why people fear, because they don't know what's going to happen ahead of them.
True. Very true. Very true. And the more you get comfortable with uncertainty, the less fearful we would be of the future.
True.
right? So,
Yeah,
so and
I
in, please go ahead.
Yeah. As we are talking about this, I just few things came. Initially, when as I was doing my 12th, I wanted to take the decision of whether I want to go to a design college or do CoVersity. And that time I was really scared. I can be honest. I would even cried. I even cried for twice or thrice. I cried. I was really afraid of how will I do, what will I do, but I want to do it and all. But then eventually I was doing different projects. I was doing various things that fear kind of took a step back because I think I'm learning how to learn, and it gave me a confidence that whatever I do, I can learn it. Because I know how I can learn anything. So even if something new happens in the future or if something is there, I can learn it because all the projects that I did till now, even the projects I did with the client, were the first time I ever did. I had absolutely no experience. I had no idea about it, but I did it and it went well. So as I was doing, I got the confidence that I can do whatever that came my way because I know how to learn it. Yeah, that was one of the thought that I got as in the journey of design.
Yeah, lovely, lovely. Thank you, Sriya. Thank you.
So say in a company, if you want to join, and there will be like say people of similar skills. So what how will they give you the preference and not the other person who has got degrees and who's got is it because of experience, or would it be what is a consideration when you get a job?
Hands-on
Working for yourself, I mean, you don't have to show anybody anything. But when you're working for somebody and then you'll have more people who are looking for the same job, then what do? How will you prove you to be better than others? Or to get a job actually, not just prove better.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm preparing myself for actually. I am maintaining a portfolio where I document all the work that I'm doing, all the things that I'm doing, and I think something which would separate me from the others would be the process, the learning process, because I think when the company knows that I have a certain process of learning, a certain process of doing, that would interest them rather than I could say this is my output, this is what I did, I did that project, I did this project and this and that. And yeah, I think the skills among all the designers would be same. The basic skills are same among anything. The way you do it, the way I present it would be the different. Even if I go to the college or if I even don't go to the college, the skills one should learn to be a designer is the same. It's just the company has their own criteria of giving the job to a particular person. And if I meet them, I'll get the job. All I'm concentrating is on to gain those skills which are required.
You know on what basis you'll get a job? Because of your confidence. Because of your confidence.
You just stole my words, Purvi. You just stole my words.
This is what is so important. This is why I love exploring.
Yeah.
It's not about she knows that it's a confidence which is showing up. Maybe even if she fails, she's confident that it's okay to fail.
And that she will learn from it.
Exactly. Right? Even success, failure will come on its way, but then the confidence what she has gained over this, which is where she's going to really achieve whatever she wants.
Yeah. And the idea of CoVersity is exactly that. How do we take youngsters who have grown up with the ideas and living the open learning life to various degrees and looking to carve a path for themselves. And one of the best things that we can do as community of open learners is to provide them the space to explore themselves and build their confidence. Very much exactly what you pointed out, Purvi. That confidence is what gives them a foot in the door in some sense. And many a time their foot might get hurt because the door will be slapped shut. But they will learn to pick themselves up and move on. And somebody or the other is going to find out that, hey, there's this really talented artist called Sriya, and she's worth an interview.
Exactly. I agree. Well done, Shreya.
Thank you.
Others, we have 13, 14 folks on the call today. Feel free to please unmute yourself, share a few thoughts, questions. Sandhya has also joined us. Nice. Welcome, Sandhya. Hi. Yeah, so please unmute and share your thoughts. There are quite a few who have been silent listeners. We don't mind silent listeners, but we would encourage you to, take the next step and, participate in the conversation as well. So, and if you are in a place which is too noisy and you would like to type out your questions, you're welcome to do that in the chat window. One of us will read it out and we can have a conversation about that. And yeah, please feel free.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
I have one question, like in general.
Okay.
Because of going for this open learning,
Mhm.
what are the challenges that may be faced when they have to encounter like going to the career part or settling in life?
Sriya, you want to share your thoughts on that?
I didn't exactly get the question. I'm trying to get myself.
So what are the challenges that you expect when, as an open learner, you are going to look for it to build a career?
Yes.
Yeah, looking for a job, building your career, all that. Do you expect any particular challenges? Do you anticipate anything that you wouldn't have if you were following a regular path?
People asking you what you do, you don't have a degree, you don't do that, you don't do this. A lot of questions from the people. So that to be fun side, that's one thing. And yeah, maybe I think certificate would be a major thing. I wouldn't say a challenge, but that will be one of the major things, a topic which would come up when I started thinking about my career. And yeah, I don't think anything else that comes to my mind for now.
Yeah. So when we look at careers and those of us who have built our careers or building our careers, one thing that we often see is that my educational qualification will only take us that far. It's not sufficient what I studied in my degree or in my master's or did in my PhD. After I get a job, I have to learn a lot. To stay in that job, I have to learn some more. And to get a promotion or to change streams, I need to learn a lot more. So this process of learning is very much integrated with our career growth. And that never ends. That process of growth never ends. Just the same way that learning never ends. So what Shriya and a lot of us open learners feel is that when we develop the skills of learning, and like Purvi and others pointed out, of failing as well. When we say learning, it's not just always succeeding and becoming the, becoming the Elon Musk of the world, right? So Elon Musk has also failed in many things. Let's please recognize that. And he's failing at many things too, but he's learning from them. And not just Elon Musk. I mean, Elon Musk is in the news and, all that. But every one of us, we learn from our failures And as open learners, we are in a position where we expect to fail and learn from those failures, right? So whatever those challenges might be, some of them will fail at.
One of the, can I explain?
Please,
One
please,
of the, I was coming to the open learning. One thing we are to do after open learning, after subjects, what is the next in the career or something 10th or intermediate? At that time, there is no CoVersity. But now it is the, for the open learners coming into this open learning without schooling, then this is the path, it is opened and it is the result oriented now. It is clarified. Yes, open learner can do up to university level. That's why at that time open learning, I was entered into the open learning. That is the challenge for me while breaking the Sriya journey into the school system in the 8th class. But now at that time that is the challenge. But now it is not the challenge. Now she is the CoVersity is there for career oriented learning. That is this is the one of the challenge I have faced in the open learning field.
Shriya, Sandhya here. It's just, I'm just curious. How did you convince your parents that you don't want to join a college and instead you want to join open learning and then CoVersity? I just wanted to know.
Yeah, so it wasn't a challenge for me to convince my dad because I didn't convince him. He was already convinced. But it was a challenge to convince my mother. We had loads and loads of discussions on this. It's actually as if we were in a court. I was defending myself and she was attacking me. It was literally like that. We had many discussions on it. So I think the main part was I said the main question was certificate. It came down to certification only. That was the only main concern that my mother had. And I told her that currently I don't think I really need a certificate if I have the necessary skills and all for the career which I want to build. And even if there is a requirement that I should have a certificate in the future, and then I'll do a course. I mean, I'll join the college, I'll get a certificate, and then I'll do it if it's required in the future. But for now, I have the believe in myself that I can learn things in my way, even if it fails. She was also concerned that maybe you won't get it, you'll fail, something like that. I was like, yeah, I'll fail, maybe I'll fail, but I'm not. I don't mind failing in anything. I was said whatever comes in my way, I'm just okay with it. I'll deal with it and I'll go ahead with it. And my dad, one concern he has was maybe in the future you'll regret it. You'll ask us that you allowed me to be in the CoVersity and you shout at us in the future. I said you'll regret it. And I said it's okay if I get regretted. What's the big deal about it? Okay, I'll regret. I'll talk about it. Maybe I'll say a little word or two. But that's fine. If I regret, I'll regret. If I succeed, I'll succeed. If I fail, I'll fail. But this is what I want to do. That's what I told them. And yeah, thankfully they agreed to it. So that's how I entered and that's how I'm currently.
So, Vajraprasad, is this the only concern of shouting at you that you have in future? I'm pretty sure you have many other things.
That's one thing that he shared with
me. No. That is, I am clear about that. Actually, really, I am the open learner. That's why I'm confident. Actually, my wife and me also as open learners.
Yeah.
But we have the degrees. But we have the degrees for qualifications to get the government jobs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I am also bunking the college, and meanwhile, I'm out of the college years together.
Yeah. So, so this it kind of ties back to that question of fear, right? Fear and the uncertainty. And this is something that I read a long time ago. I think it was when I was still reading Reader's Digest. That if you haven't had your child shout at you, you're not really a good parent. So, which goes on to say that the more your child shouts at you, be happy you're being a good parent. So, yeah, and as a child myself, I mean, I remember being angry with my parents and asking them, why did you do this, or why did you not do this? And that is part of life. That is part of life. That nobody lives without constraints. I mean, I don't know why. No, let's not say Elon Musk. Let's say Narendra Modi also lives within certain constraints, right? Just the same way that we live within certain constraints. So, so yeah, I mean, we all have our resources. We have our constraints, and sometimes we might be happy with it. Sometimes we might be angry about it. But that's life. Yeah, somebody was about to say
Yeah,
something.
I just wanted to ask a question to Mr. Vajra Prasad. So what you mentioned earlier is somewhere around like 8th standard when you you were worried about this path as to not having an approach which is career oriented. And when so when that approach came, then which you are like considering CoVersity as an approach, then you are comfortable. So
No.
yeah.
Continue.
Okay, so that's how I understood it. So let's first clarify this question so that I can ask the second question if it is relevant. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, Sriya is the only started this CoVersity initiation. First, in the Ratnesh has introduced this concept. Then
okay, so
so
she went through regular schooling till what standard?
Yeah, 12th standard she has gone through, and we are part of the Aarohi community.
Okay, so you have been part of Aarohi community for how long? Let's say means current, she just finished her 12th, right?
So what exactly happened was I was in Aarohi campus when I was in 8th class. I stayed there for 10 months or 8 months. And then I felt like this open learning system is not for me. At that time, to that mindset, I felt this path isn't for me. So I went back to schooling. I did my schooling in a traditional school for till 11th class. And in 11th class, that's when Aarohi started. Aarohi has been started, the online Aarohi. We joined in again. And as I was being part of Aarohi, and because that's when I wanted to start something towards my career, and that's when the CoVersity concept came in. So that's when I pulled back myself into the open learning.
I have a question.
Understood. Yeah. So so what you mentioned is, and now I understood. So 8th standard, then 11th, the CoVersity concept came. So did you felt when you were not in, so between that 8th and 11th, did you felt something like this was really necessity for you as to have, let's say, sort of an conducive environment to, to support you? Is that how you felt? That's what I want to know from you, Sriya, specifically.
No. Actually, I didn't even have any thought that I would be interested in some other path apart from college, since till I got introduced to CoVersity. Only after I got introduced to the CoVersity concept, I felt this is for me. Because I never knew, like even my father or me, we didn't know that this cohort concept is there. It existed till I came to 11th class. We didn't even know. Maybe if we had known that this is a possibility in my 8th or 9th class, I don't know how it would have been then. But till I got introduced to this concept, I didn't have any thought of any need. I didn't realize that I had a need to have an open learning even for my career. All I knew was college. Everybody goes to college. I also go to college. I get a job. I do this. I do that. That's what I knew because I didn't have any exposure to other paths.
Okay, got it, got it. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is that you were in Aarohi for 8 months. So what about your school? Do they give you like sabbatical leave or what happened?
No, actually,
This is
what
always
happened
the
was
worry of the
my
parents.
dad's
Then you just
magic
go to
again.
school, how will you get back admission?
My dad's magic again. He has some contacts and all. So what
Yeah, but that
happened was,
doesn't happen with everyone, right? There's so much of competition that schools will be like,
yeah,
okay,
that's
now
why
you're
there
out,
is
you'll go to
NOS too. There was an option of NOS where you can get, you can write exam and get that certificate of that particular class. But we didn't opted for NOS because my dad had contacts. We actually took an admission in a school he knew. We already talked to the principal that I would attend only for the exams and I won't go to any classes. I don't require any classes. All I need is a bench and a seat and a paper and pencil to write my exam. That's all. And nothing.
because even my daughter is in 8th standard, so should I try this?
Yeah,
There's another
this
angle
is
to this.
one of the options. And obviously NOS is also there. I know a person who is writing 8th NOS.
There's another angle to this thing, right? So when we get back to school, right, somehow feel that, oh, my son, daughter is 14 years old, he or she has to be in 8th standard or 9th standard or 10th standard, right or wrong?
Yeah, this is how we have been, conditioned.
So now if an institution says, hey, we can't really accommodate your child in, let's say, 10th standard like you wanted, but we can take them in 9th, what would our response be?
Yeah, that I mean, it's as a parent, I'm okay, but for the child, if she's not ready, she will lose out her confidence because friends have gone ahead and she's left out.
Oh, friends haven't gone anywhere.
So especially in the conventional way of learning, when you have your friends in that class.
But it doesn't mean that you don't find friends. So anyway, the point that I was trying to make is also it's about our expectations of institutions, right? That we feel that, oh, my child should be in this class, should be in this stream, should be in this grade, right? Should be the topper. So what we ask is, as open learners, let's step back and look at our own expectations, right? Santosh, please feel free to ask, unmute yourself and talk.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought, Vijay. I just had.
So we will totally use the time.
Thank you. I just had a quick question for Sriya. Sriya, you are very passionate about something and you are committed and your father is very supportive. I am telling you, you are blessed. Not every child is as blessed.
I agree. Father's
Honestly.
support is there.
No, actually, my parents have supported me like this only.
Great.
Okay, so my question here is, Sriya, that suppose this doesn't work out, do you have a backup plan?
This isn't.
So you want to do designing, right? You love it and you are passionate about it, and you started your cohort and you're also helping other children. You're doing very well now, but suppose this thing doesn't work out, right? I mean, say a few years from now, you find that whatever you are thinking or whatever you are wanting to do doesn't work out. It doesn't happen. Do you have a backup plan?
Well, the first backup plan is to use all this experience, and then maybe I'll do a diploma of a year or two to get a certificate. If that comes to that point that I need to have a job. Without a certificate, I don't get a job at all. Then I'll do a diploma and I'll get a job or start my own business or something. So yeah, basically, I don't think the backup plan would be this: use my experience till now and do a diploma. I think that will be.
I was thinking
This
you
is
would say
some
supermarket design.
Shriya, I just wanted to say that, most of us, I mean, even if somebody asks me, do I have a backup plan for something, I won't be able to, answer the way you answered. Now, when you said that, yeah, this experience that I have gathered, I mean, this is my backup plan, right? That's really great to know. I mean, if you are thinking in this manner, that's the right way to think, I think.
Just to add to that, Sujay, the backup plan, actually the amount of skills and confidence, whatever she has gained throughout this journey is something so valuable that she can implement this in any other fields. It's not just one field, any other field, if she wants to learn, she can just learn. And she is already filled with those skills.
So I would like to just change gears a little bit in the last 10 minutes and share a little bit about CoVersity. Let me try to do a screen share. Okay. Can you see my screen?
No, it's not shared. Do you want to put it in chat window, Dviji, so I can share?
No. I was just wanted to share that slide with the. Oh, okay, it's asking for some permission. Wait, let me. I probably have to allow.
Huh?
Yeah, just give.
Yeah. Now you try.
I thought you had given me permission, no? No. And then what? Okay. Now can you see?
No, it's not shared yet.
Not yet. Okay, I haven't done screen sharing on my mobile, so I'm guessing that's the reason. Anyway, Leela, if you're on your laptop.
It's great. It started.
Now you can see it. Now
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, great. Okay, this is what I wanted to share. See, this is in some sense, in a broad sweep definition, when we say open learning, what does one do after exposure? One tends to explore things, and then one builds through explorations, one builds their expertise in something, and that expertise translates to enterprise, which might be a true enterprise in itself, or it might also be a job. Now, as open learners, we kind of don't necessarily go through these stages in a linear fashion, right? Just as most of us have realized, suddenly we might be exploring something, but suddenly we might get an offer, and without really developing an expertise, we will become an enterprise and start making money out of it, right? And getting paid to do that job. And as we do the job, we build our expertise, and then we change our ideas, and so on and so on. So the idea of CoVersity is to support these kinds of stage 3, stage 4 individuals who are looking, or even stage 2 for that matter, who are exploring, who are deep diving, who are really serious about some things, and are looking for a cohort, a community which is interested in similar things. And that's the idea of CoVersity. And okay, how do I change slides now? There. Okay, and there's this other slide that I wanted to share, which is this one. So one is that we have had a lot of discussion about visiting campus. So visiting campus is a very important part of how we try to get people to experience open learning the Aarohi way, primarily because there's a lot of things happening on campus, and CoVersity is one of them. So CoVersity, this is how we define CoVersity in this slide. You can see that it's about co-designing and doing this journey together. And most individuals are not on campus, but many of those involved in CoVersity, many of the co-learners are on campus. So when we say CoVersity, like Vajra Prasad was referring to, Sriya was referring to earlier, we are talking about a university-like thing, but a little more focused and a little more tailored, and most importantly, self-directed, rather than directed by a professor or a board, a curriculum, or anything like that. So that's what I would like to share with regard to open learning and CoVersities. And the idea of open learning is not to give up on everything else and adopt this as being best for everyone. It's not the best for everyone. And like she has shared already, there are times when some of us will feel that, this is not really for me. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Because open learning is about self-directed learning and not following what Viji or Ratnesh or Aditi or Leela or somebody else says, but rather about what I want to do with my time and my life. So great. Any other questions? We have a few more minutes. If you have any other questions, please feel free, or else we can wrap up today's session. We've already come to about 50% of our initial or the peak attendance. So yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, my name is Bhavna Mittal, and hi, and I have two daughters. They are both unschooled since last 4 years.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and we are now, we were thinking of shifting them to some structure, a place where they could have more experiences. So my elder daughter is 16, and I wanted to know, she's more leaning more towards dance, singing, and music. So what facilities do you have for her at Aarohi?
Okay. So Leela, you want to answer that, given that you're here? Or Shriya?
Yeah. For us, any skill is equal, whether it is dancing, whether it is designing, whether it is automobile or software. So any skill, the process is the same. First, we start with the exploration, and then we move on to the expertise, and then we move on to the professional level. So dance, we don't know, like the child has explored so many different kinds of dance for her to choose which kind of dance she wants to. She is passionate about. So when she is explored enough, then when she decides that this is the path I want to choose, and when there is a clarity, then the child moves on to the next level. For that,
just to add to that, Bhavna, when we say it's a campus, what we mean is it's a space, and a space where the community comes together. So we do not have specific experts there to coach or guide children, but rather we encourage, just like Sriya was saying, she found some people who she was interested in learning from, and she contacted them. And so your daughter might be interested in dance, and we would, from the community, we would like to see her gain the confidence to call up, I don't know, who's that, Malika Sarabhai or somebody else, to hey, I'm interested in this, I'm doing this. Here's a short video of my dance performance, what I have learned. Can you teach me something? Can I come to your place and learn from you? Right? So that's the kind of approach we take rather than making different facilities available on campus. It is possible. I mean, um, Malika Sarabhai or Malvika Sarabhai, I forget the name. But anyway, I know she's quite old and not really in, but I don't know the recent, dancers. But anyway, so they might say, hey, this is a very interesting concept. Can I come to your campus and stay for a week? And we'll be like, lovely, please come, please come. And we have had people like that come over and, share their expertise. We have had workshops on campus where it's not necessarily, people with a lot of name and fame, but rather people who have done something, learned it, and want to share their learning.
And we also
And this is an
have a huge community who are passionate about many, many, many different fields. So where you can seek support for whichever field you want, and they can ask their friends if we don't have that particular skill. So there is no doubt of people who support us for learning any kind of a passion.
Go ahead,
Lovely.
Donna.
Thank you so much. I'm
follow-up question.
Sorry,
Thank you.
I interrupted you.
Okay, you're most welcome, Bhavna. And do visit the campus whenever you can. I didn't get where you live, Bhavna.
We live in Noida near Delhi.
So maybe plan a summer visit. The summers are much more pleasant on campus than in Noida, I'm sure. Yeah, great. 7:00. Thank you, everyone. It's been a lovely time. 2 hours zipped by so quickly. Thank you, Ajay Prasad and Sriya, for staying way beyond what we had asked you to. It was a lovely conversation.